What's going on, everyone? The casino, aka the stock market, is closed tomorrow because of Juneteenth. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But right now, I'm going to talk about some quantum stocks, and I'm going to talk about this heat map. And I want to specifically look at SOFI, IONQ, SEAL SQ, which I've just learned I've been saying wrong this whole time. So my bad. And it's going to take me some time to learn to say it right, because I've been saying it wrong for like months. And also D-Wave, QBTS. So we're going to look at 4 charts. We're going to look at the market and kind of talk about the news. And we're going to get in and out here in like 15 minutes is my goal. So let's jump right in. All right, so just taking a look at the market heat map here. It's a little bit mixed. Amazon was down, Google was down, Microsoft had a little bit of a positive day. Meta was down a little bit after a big push up recently. Nvidia is starting to get more towards maybe its fair value, and it still has a way to go, in my opinion. And just overall, a little bit mixed. There's a lot of tensions with the escalations with the Iran and Israel situation and potentially the US involvement. It feels like a very uncertain period of time right now with both Iran and Israel and the US involvement. And I think that it's very possible that the US could get involved just based on our current administration. And sort of as I've been following the headlines and what we've been hearing out of Iran, I saw a headline that said Iran was controlling the skies of Israel, and there's kind of propaganda in both countries. And I know that the Iranian people, and I don't think I've ever really referenced this before, but all these carpets on the wall are all Persian rugs because I'm half Iranian. So my dad was actually from Iran, and before he passed away, he said the Iranian government right now isn't very good. That was his opinion as a natural born citizen of Iran. And there was a point now, a distant memory, where Iranian culture was much more progressive, and it's become much more restrictive and oppressive to women. And perhaps this war could be a catalyst for the country itself to maybe regain control of what it wants to be, and maybe they can move in a different direction. I personally haven't ever traveled to Iran, but I've always been asked by family and friends, do you ever want to go back to Iran? Well, I was worried because you can get drafted until age 30, since I'm technically half Iranian. So I didn't go. And I know it's a beautiful place. I'd love to take my camera there and take some photos. I'd love for it to be just a friendlier place, but right now it isn't. And it's just a weird situation all around. So let's take a look at our quantum watch list. So ARQQ, which I'm going to do a separate video on, had a 22% day. And it's really incredible to see how the stock is moving, because it's not the only time that it's had a 20% day recently. People are really buying up this stock because of their partnership with Oracle, another really, really hot stock in the stock market right now. Skywater is doing really well since April. It's looking for $10. IONQ had a lot of optimism today, 4% day. Intel even did pretty well. QBTS ended green, and IBM ended green. And then we had some cooling off in QUBT, which has ran a lot recently. And LAES is now below the dreaded 388. It's back. The nightmare resumes. And then Rigetti, I wouldn't be surprised if Rigetti just trades around $10 to $12 for quite a while. Unless they announce something really exciting, like a new ARQQ 4 computer or some partnership or infusion of cash. I'm not sure what the near-term catalysts are going to be for Rigetti to really push the stock back up to $20, but we'll definitely watch it closely and track it. Okay, let's take a look at IONQ. So IONQ, really, we know that IONQ got caught up in this quantum euphoria. It ran all the way to $54 before the quantum crash, and quantum came down. A lot of stocks took a 40-50% haircut overnight, and IONQ was one of them. IONQ showed some resilience and actually came up and held above this $36 range for quite a while. We can see that the ticker was up in this 36 to 44 range for a while before tariffs and most of the market getting pretty washed out. So the stock could be picked up for under $20 a share even this year. And I've recently done a video on IONQ that it blew my mind, because they acquired Oxford Ionics and LightSync. And this is like, if they were a bigger company, they're such good acquisitions for their trapped ion technology that it would be like Apple acquiring Google or something absurd. It would be blocked. It'd be like, no way, Verizon and T-Mobile, you cannot be the same company, because that would be a monopoly. Well, that's what IONQ just did with their acquisitions. And I went out and I bought more shares the next morning after I made that video. I bought a 2027 leap because I see that a lot of near-term potential with IONQ, especially with their acquisitions and their accelerated roadmap because of said acquisitions. So what is that manifested as in the chart? If we look back to those April lows and we just do an approximation to today, the return is about 120%. I'm going to clear the drawing so we can kind of see more of where we are. We had that huge 40% rally, and a lot of that was given back, and it's just kind of chopped, but it hasn't gone below that rally. And we had some more optimism come today. So we may have what could be the start of a bull flag forming here, where we're seeing consolidation maybe around this 40. And could we see the next leg up out of IONQ if they are able to deliver a good quarterly, if they're able to keep making awesome acquisitions? There are lots of catalysts for IONQ, and they're the self-proclaimed NVIDIA of pure quantum computing plays. So if they're able to live up to their own hype, this stock could be trading at much higher levels in the coming years. Let's look at just more of the near-term price action. So we see that rally. We gave a lot of the rally back, and it's just been chopping. If I bring my drawings back, it does seem that 36 has been a spot of support multiple times. It kind of wandered down there again today. We're in this range between 36 and 39, and we actually closed above 39, which puts us in another range, which IONQ has lots of history, which is that 39 to 44. So if IONQ can work its way back up, then it will need to break through 44 to get into this zone, which would be the next leg, before it could ultimately retest all-time highs. So it has definitely a few spots it's going to need to get through, but the close today was promising. And could it get back to this 54 all-time highs? Maybe sooner than you think. So if you're interested in IONQ, definitely do your own due diligence and think about what they offer compared to other quantum companies and the importance of the acquisition. Definitely go check out that video if you want to learn more about that acquisition and why it made me so much more bullish on the stock. All right, so SOFI, a name I've been in for almost a year, and I love SOFI. I love the app. I love how easy they make banking, and I think they're a disruptor in the banking field. And they make a lot of money. We talk about stocks all the time on the channel that are not currently making a lot of money. SOFI is almost giving us billion-dollar quarterlies, just shy, like a couple $100 million short of billion-dollar quarterlies. And we've seen some funkiness in the price. That's the only way I could put it. Really, the stock has been trading undervalued. They gave me in April, they gave me 2027 leaps at the $10 strike for like a couple bucks. Like those leaps are already up 200, 300%, and they will probably be up a lot more because my price target for SOFI, even by the end of 2025, is probably something more like $25 a share, especially because we just got confirmation today that there still are 2 more interest rate cuts coming in 2025 from the Fed. So let's look at this whole chart holistically. Where are we? This is the tariff. Every stock in the stock market is washed out, the maximum fear, and they've beat on their earnings. They didn't maximize their profit. They didn't put profit before everything. So Wall Street sent them down after earnings, and they sent them down again. So recently, in the last 52 weeks, we've seen SOFI touch 18 and hang around this 15 to 16. So for it to close above 15 is actually really important for its next leg up. So I think that SOFI, prior to its next earnings, is going to continue to walk its way up. And that's my base case because it's been undervalued for a long time. Okay, let's take a look at QBTS. And QBTS has been in a bit of a lull, D-Wave, on their news cycle. I think that they were very aggressive with their public relations and news cycle. And recently we haven't got as much news. So what we've seen is this enthusiasm and volume, this increase, this rally after earnings. We've seen the enthusiasm kind of peter off a little bit. We've seen $15. This $15 price point seems to be an area where buyers step in every single time. And I'm sure that if you're short on the stock, you're watching 15 because you know if it can break down below 15, then the next stop is about 13, where the previous rally was. So we ended a little bit green, but this price action between this $15 and $18 price is fine, especially considering the stock needs to cool off. My concern remains that Wall Street and investors aren't going to be patient with D-Wave. If they come and have a poor quarterly too, after all this excitement and all of the euphoria that's been put into the stock, then if they're not able to show the same revenue, then I think there could be some impatience and some sell-off. That being said, D-Wave has annealing patents, and there's a lot of potential that could be unlocked by this company. So it continues to be a compelling quantum pure play as far as publicly traded companies go. And this may just be the beginning of where D-Wave is. So it is a speculative and risky investment, but it could pay off. It could go down. We'll just have to see. I personally am a big shareholder of D-Wave. I believe in the company. I would love to see them make more partnerships and make more money here in the near future. But I'm also willing to be patient because I'm long on the stock and I've done my due diligence and research. And I've met many of the people that work at D-Wave, and I've interviewed them on this channel, which I'll put that interview thumbnail up on the screen. All right, and finally, LAES. This is sad. And those who follow the channel know, because this yellow line is 388. And LAES was actually in this recent rally holding above 388, and it broke down. It broke down below 388, and it actually broke below its rising support. So we see a few things happening that aren't near-term positive signs. We see that volume is trickling off a little bit, and we see that it's on the oversold. So we close at 372. We are oversold, volumes going down. Now, here's the thing with SEALSQ. If ARQQ, ARKit, is moving 25% in a day, they are neighbors, right? They're similar. They're in the same space. They're in this post-quantum cybersecurity space. So have investors figured out that you can go buy ARKit Quantum for $37 a share, or you can make a position in SEALSQ for $3.72 a share. And then when they make new partnerships or they keep advancing their technologies, their post-quantum security technologies, then the stock will appreciate. So that is my bull case. And that's kind of why I'm buying LAES. Anything under $4 to me at this point in time is a buy, but there is also downside risk. Most of the recent history of LAES, if we go back all the way to January, is below that 388. So just know if you're buying around these levels, it is a very risky and speculative investment. It's important that you do your own due diligence and research. Anyway, that is everything I have for you today. We've done 4 tickers in about 15 minutes. We talked about the markets. We talked about conflicts in Iran and Israel. Hope you enjoyed this content and my thoughts on everything. If you did, please do me a favor and hit the like button. And if you feel so compelled, smash the subscribe button as well. We'll talk to you guys soon.